There's a ton of noise out there. So how do you get decision makers to pay attention to your brand? Start a podcast and invite your ideal clients to be guests on your show. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm James Carberry.
And I'm Jonathan Green.
Let's get into the show. Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. We are here today with Torsten George. He's the VP of Global Marketing and Products at RiskSense. Torsten, how you doing today?
Fine, James. Very well.
I'm really excited to chat with you today, Torsten. We're going to be talking about guerrilla marketing tactics that B2B brands can leverage. But before we get into that, Torsten, can you tell our listeners a little bit about RiskSense and what you and your team are up to over there?
Sure. RiskSense is a cybersecurity company. We have pioneered the emerging market segment of cyber risk management, and in day-to-day business, we're helping governments and enterprises to reveal their cyber risk exposure and then quickly orchestrate remediation and monitor the results. And so it's very important. We read about cyber attacks every day, and companies are struggling. So being able to assist these organizations is really very gratifying.
Yeah, okay. So, Torsten, in diving into the topic, talking about these guerrilla marketing tactics, there are three specific ones that we're going to talk about. But before we get into the specific tactics, I'd love for you to share with our listeners, why do you think that guerrilla marketing is so important in a B2B landscape?
Sure. I have been doing marketing for more than 20 years and primarily helped mid-sized emerging technology vendors to get their products into the market. And one thing that I took away as a marketeer was that a lot of times you're competing against these big brands and IBM and HP, and it is really tough to get the attention of your target audience as a smaller player. And so you have to kind of be very creative and effective in how you're structuring your marketing campaigns, because otherwise, if I'm sending out an email and people immediately delete it and don't even open it, I'm obviously wasting valuable marketing dollars. And so that's why we came up basically with strategic components that include rapid response, thought leadership, and speaking engagements to really supplement your traditional marketing instruments and be more successful and have a higher return on investment.
Got it. Okay, so let's dive into this first one. I want to talk about rapid response. Torsten, can you explain that one to us?
So rapid response for me is an element of public relations. So for instance, I'm working with a public relations company for many years, and they're bringing opportunities to me on a daily basis. So every day that they're getting up, they're kind of screening the news as it relates to the topic that is close to our company. Cybersecurity obviously is something that shows up every single day, so it's very good for us. But they're reaching out to editors. They're really giving us the opportunity to provide commentaries on the daily cybersecurity chat, and that allows us to get good coverage. If you look at RiskSense website, you will see our media coverage by far outscores what you normally see with other companies. We have almost daily coverage, and that is really great for us. It creates a buzz on the street. If I'm now sending out an email and somebody has just read an article where we provided commentary, they will say, hey, instead of deleting it, I just heard about this company. They seem to be really experts in this area. Let me open this email and look what they offer. So it's very, very powerful tool there.
No, that makes sense. And the rapid nature of it, having that PR firm that is looking for those mentions every day and then offering up ways for your brand to comment on those stories. Obviously, for an editor, I'm sure that the response rate from the editor is much higher because they've already produced the piece of content, and the PR firm is basically coming alongside and saying, hey, either would you like to add commentary to this, or for the next piece you do on this, we've got somebody that could speak to it. Is that kind of how it works?
That's how it works, and it's quite tricky. I mean, it requires quite a bit of resources, not just from your PR agency, but also from you as the thought leader.
Yeah.
Because what it means is you get pinged via phone, email, whatever, and you have often less than 15 minutes to jump on the phone or provide email commentary, and you have to be prepared. Sometimes, let's say there's new legislation out there or a new cybersecurity framework by the World Economic Forum. You have to quickly read up on that and really get the details extracted and then apply your spin to it. So it's really something where a lot of companies are struggling because their people are so occupied with other things that they say, oh, I don't take the time. But in reality, it's free. I don't have to pay for it, and it gives me a really high return on investment.
And how are you guys measuring that ROI from that specific guerrilla tactic, Torsten?
So we have set up some analytics on our website, for instance, and we can kind of track when we have links coming in from these particular articles. We can see what traffic is generated by these media coverages. And so for us, it really drives quite a significant part of our overall marketing traffic. And it's really, we're also supplementing this with thought leadership programs, which is kind of the next component of guerrilla marketing. And thought leadership entails kind of white papers, it entails byline articles, blog contributions, and definitely also engagements with the analyst community. To take an example, for instance, I personally write every 3 weeks a byline article for Security Week, and we can track every time that these articles are getting published. We have huge spikes of people coming to our website and really checking us out, what we're doing, what we're providing. So there's a clear correlation between these engagements and what we see from a web traffic perspective. And our conversion rate is in a 25%, really driving traffic to real contacts. And so it's very positive for us to see that happen.
Got it. And can you explain that conversion rate to me? So 25% of the people that come to the site then convert into some sort of form fill on the website. Is that right?
Yeah. So I consider traffic to a website, it's like I wouldn't consider it the lead. It's just a contact. And only once this contact engages further with us, meaning downloading a white paper, signing up for a webinar, asking for a demo, then they become for me a prospect, and then we're taking them through further nurturing. And once they reach a particular threshold, we're handing this over to the sales department as a marketing qualified lead. But that initial conversion between just driving traffic to the website and then being able to take this traffic and really turn it into somebody where there's a face and a name behind it, that's the important part.
That makes perfect sense. So this last piece, Torsten, we've talked about rapid response, we talked about thought leadership. This last piece is speaking engagements. Talk to us about how these have really driven results for you at RiskSense.
I mean, again, it's one thing to drive traffic to your website and you have kind of, I would say, lukewarm engagement because you're not seeing the person, but a speaking engagement, we're standing in front of an audience and really have the opportunity to get to know them. And after your speech, people engage with you as a person. These are even better marketing instruments because in reality, these are warm leads. You can really develop that relationship. And so when it comes to speaking engagements, when I talk about speaking engagements, I'm not primarily talking about paid speaking engagements, meaning I'm sponsoring an event. In return, I'm getting a speaking slot. No, I'm really talking about things where you can leverage the need for an expert speaker. Let's say an industry association in the security space. You have organizations like ISACA and IC Square, and they hold chapter meetings across the country. And to really attract their members and to educate their members, they are always looking for expert speakers. And it's not the sales pitch. It's really about talking technology trends, talking what you see in the market, and sharing that with the audience. And so here you have really that exposure, and it really helps building relationships, creating awareness. And you can also go out, for instance, Bright Talk, which is a marketing platform that offers on-demand webinars. They have their different summits for different topics. And a lot of times, if you want to spend the money and you have $25,000+ laying around, go ahead and engage. But they often really look for speakers that have the expertise that really supplement their paid sponsors. So these offer you great exposure, and that's a great tool. Again, I'm looking for how can I use platforms without having to spend a fortune and really have a high return on investment.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Torsten, is there anything else related to guerrilla marketing that you think our audience should be able to wrap their head around before I let you go today?
I think all of these elements nowadays also kind of tie into social media. So all of the elements I discussed earlier, be it rapid response, be it your speaking engagements, your bylines, and any other thought leadership pieces, they nowadays need to be also promoted on your social media platforms, be it Facebook, be it LinkedIn, be it Twitter, and really spread the word. And you can see the more you talk about educational elements and not core sales pitch, the following of your company will increase dramatically. We have been extremely successful to kind of tie these elements together and have a huge following in the social media landscape. And nowadays, that's very important.
Well, that's fantastic, Torsten. This has been really, really helpful content. I appreciate your time. If there's somebody that wants to connect with you further, what's the best way for them to connect with you? And then also, if they want to learn more about RiskSense, how can they go about doing that as well?
Sure. One way to connect with me is go on my LinkedIn profile and ask to be connected. I'm an open line Mitglied, so should be easy to connect. Also, you can reach me via Twitter at Torsten_George. And then from the company perspective, if you're interested to learn about more cyber risk management and how that can help organizations, go to our website, www.risksense.com. You can contact us also at info@risksense.com or via Twitter at RiskSense.
Awesome, Torsten. Thank you so much for your time today. This has been great.
Thank you, James.
To ensure that you never miss an episode of the B2B Growth Show, subscribe to the show in iTunes or your favorite podcast player. This guarantees that every episode will get delivered directly to your device.
If you'd like to connect with B2B executives from all over the world, make sure to join our private Facebook community. There are some incredible conversations happening inside this group. To join, visit b2bgrowthshow.com/FB.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.